Hello, and welcome to New Beginnings Start Today, the podcast for people who want to grow deeper in their faith in the Lord. I'm your host, Dr. Douglas Keffer, a minister, clinical pastoral counselor here in Roanoke, Virginia, with a passion to help people to live their faith. Today, we will talk about finding your hope again and how you can face today with all its challenges and have the hope that God will sustain you. Let's get started. The next time that you are shopping, let me ask you to do a little experiment for me. As you're walking along doing your shopping, take note of the people you pass and look at the expression on their faces. I believe the vast majority of the people that walk past you first don't even see you. And secondly, very few even have a smile on their face. The somberness we see in people comes back to the fact that most people have lost hope for what they will be blessed with in their day and what they will have to deal with. This taints what lies ahead of them for their future. The reality is that most of the people you will walk past at any given time in your day have ever even thought about God to begin with. I think of the many people who came and sat with me seeking Christian guidance, seeking Christian counseling, because the issues they were dealing with seemed so overwhelming and hopeless. The husband whose wife cared more about their children to their to to and and her parents who lived out of state. She thought that nothing of taking their children to her parents who lived out of state, and made it clear that her parents did not want him, the husband, to be in their house. This situation seemed hopeless to this husband until I helped him see that his joy was not found in the rejection he felt by his in laws and wife, but in his relationship to God, who would sustain him and supply all the hope needed that he would be okay. I am glad to say that this husband has done well in finding that hope and conveys a positive attitude toward his wife about this issue. How is your hope? Does it bounce back after being hit? Does it cause you to doubt when you lose hope in a situation? God knows that we all struggle with finding and holding on to hope. When you are facing tests of faith, even the strongest Christians can find it a challenge to find hope. I want you to believe that God has a plan for your life each and every day, and that plan is to give you success with what you are going to deal with in your day. Listen to what King Solomon wrote about having success. Commit your actions to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. Proverbs 6:13. This proverb has been a mainstay for my wife and me for years as we have faced many challenges that could have stolen our hope. We have faced medical issues that have been grave and did not know the outcome of what was going to happen, but knowing that God had us in his care allowed us to not lose hope. We knew that we were in God's care, in his love, and that is what I want each and every one of you listening to this to believe is possible for you. It is imperative that you slow things down in what you are dealing with right now that seems hopeless and reread Solomon's proverb. How are you applying this admonition to commit your actions to the Lord? That takes courage to do with the seriousness of what you are facing. The way that you allow yourself to take what it is that you are doing or need to do in your circumstances to the Lord makes all the difference in the world to how you see the outcome to be. You have to learn how to have a prayer life that is more than just a hit and miss. You have to develop a designated time when you sit down and learn how to pray to God so that when you are done with that time, you are going to see Him at work in those circumstances and believe that He heard you. You then have to believe that you're going to see Him at work in those circumstances to where your hope is in His care and not just what you are going to physically do in that situation. This is exactly what Jesus did when He knew that what was going to happen to Him as He went back to Jerusalem. Listen to what He told His disciples on their way back to Jerusalem as He faced a crucifixion. Have faith in God, Jesus answered. Truly, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, Go, throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark, the 11th chapter, verses 22 through 24. Jesus teaches us that finding hope in our situations all begins with us having faith in God. Do you see the hyperbole that he uses about telling the mountain to throw itself into the sea? And if one believes in his heart that that is the right thing to be done, it will be done for him. Jesus' point is that what seems to be impossible can be possible when we really put our faith in God to do for us what is necessary. Jesus also points out that it is imperative to understand the importance of prayer. There are so many things that you will face in your life that having a positive outcome seems impossible. I am thinking of the family whose beautiful teenage daughter was in a horrific automobile accident with her boyfriend. When you look at how mingled that car was, one would ask, how did anyone survive from that accident? Both the young girl and her boyfriend did survive, but it has been a very long journey for the young girl as her injuries were very severe. She has had many surgeries just to correct what happened to her, along with hours and hours of physical therapy to get her ambulatory skills back. I still, she still has a very long process of healing ahead of her, but throughout this horrific ordeal, it has been a blessing to hear her faith that God was going to do what was necessary in order for her to be healed. Her parents have posted messages of their faith of God's blessings for their daughter as well. They have thanked their friends and family so many times for the prayers that have been offered for the healing of this young lady and her boyfriend. They believe with all their hearts that people praying for them have made a difference in the outcome of what they have and are facing. This family has seen firsthand how their faith has given them hope in their circumstances that seemed hopeless. Jesus teaches us that when we pray with that kind of expectation and believe in our heart what we are praying for is His will for our lives, and it will be yours. It is exciting to live by this kind of faith that can give you hope in what seems hopeless in your life. I want you to also see that God has a plan for your life. And that plan comes with His blessings and promise that you will have success if you learn to do His will for your life. The prophet Jeremiah shares with us about this plan when he wrote, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." Jeremiah 29:11 through 13. Listen to God's promise of what He wants to do for your life today. Plans to prosper you, plans to give you hope and a future. I have sat with many people and shared this truth with them, and they look at me with a saddened countenance and say, "Dr. Keffer, I wish that was true, but look at my life and look at what I'm dealing with. Does this look like I'm being prospered?" Then I would point out to these people that God's promise is what He will give them, not what their circumstances are throwing at them. You have to learn the difference between what is actually happening to you that seems hopeless and what God promises us when we are obedient to His will for our lives. This requires that you build a personal relationship with Him and with His Son, Jesus Christ. God knows the plan He has for you, and those plans are for you to live with hope and not defeat. I can testify to you that living with the hope that God is going to get you through those difficult situations can bring joy to your life, which is inexplicable. I am not dispelling in any way the effort of those situations you are facing or have faced that have made you question where God's love and care is in them. Betrayal by a spouse, by a family member, or a friend is difficult. The news is that you have a serious health issue and that you don't see any remedy for it, any healing for it. That financial crisis that causes you to wonder if you will ever recover from it. That work issue that you have to get up and go to work and face every day, and it seems your manager doesn't care how it affects you. So many things you have to deal with on a daily basis that really wants to steal and have stolen your joy are very real. I have told people for a very long time this principle. I don't allow people or circumstances to steal my joy, which is my hope, because it is a choice. Think about that principle, and you will see that you have a choice of how you're going to deal with those things in your life that cause you or have caused you to not have hope for your future. That does not have to be the case. For us as Christians, our hope is in God and His love for us today. God bless you, and find your hope again. Thank you for listening to this episode. And I want to invite you to contact me and share how you are allowing God to give you that hope and that assurance that today is going to be better than yesterday, but it is not going to be as good as tomorrow. I want you to ask yourself this question. What am I trusting God for in my life that really gives me hope for tomorrow? If you are seeing this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and the like button. Also, click on the share button and share it with all your friends. That would be so helpful to me. You can also find the podcast on Spotify. Tell me, tell me about other issues that you would like me to address by leaving your comments. And you can email me at drdouglaskeffer@gmail.com. Until next time, God bless each of you.